All right, we have a winner for which sport is better, the best sport. The competition turned out to be fencing. So, congratulations to fencing for being the best sport per this competition. And so, this is the final recap. So, fencing is champion. And I'm going to go over, I mentioned this in a couple videos of the rounds. I ended up coming up with kind of guiding questions or topics or evaluation criteria. And so I'm going to go through those and the results from each round. So this might be a little boring, but I think it's good to recap and make sure I wrote this all down right. So the preliminary, so there were 4 rounds of competitions. The first round was preliminaries. There were 16 sports at that point in the competition. The second round was the playoffs, and there were 8 sports at that round of the competition. And the third round of competition, it was called the semifinals, and there were 4 sports facing off. And in the championship round, that was the 4th round of competition. Championship round, 2 sports faced off, and fencing came out victorious as the champion of which sport is better, becoming the best sport. And so, here we go. For the preliminaries round, all 16 sports were in the competition at this point. And so my guiding question that was used in determining the winners of each round, one of the guiding, not the only one by any means, was what experience with the sport? What was my experience with the sport? So, and all of these sports, so 14 of them I had experience with participating in some form or fashion, and all of them I had either participation or spectator experience. So the 2 that I did not have participation experience with, I did watch. So in that sense, none of them were completely new to me. And I thought that was very essential to keeping this competition fair and balanced. So that's why I did that. So the first match 1, was swimming or water polo. Which sport is better? Water polo won. It was a huge upset. I started filming that video and it was swimming, and then it changed as I was filming. And that kind of happened in a number of these. So yeah, I very much happy I did this because the outcome, it was different than I think it would have been if I had just like not talked through it. So I very much am happy I talked through this, and I'm happy with the outcome, but still, like, so my heart's still kind of like from some of them. So yeah, that was match 1 of the preliminaries. Preliminaries, round 1, match 1, water polo won. And match 2, it was soccer or track and field. Soccer won. And match 3, it was boxing or tennis. Boxing won. And match 4, it was volleyball or fencing. Fencing won. And match 5, it was rugby or American football. Rugby won. In match 6, it was basketball or curling. Curling won. In match 7, it was gymnastics or cheerleading or gymnastics. Neither sport won. It was a rare double elimination. Yeah. And in match 8, it was bobsled or triathlon. So match 8, bobsled and triathlon won. So they both advanced to the next round. So the winners from round one of competition, the preliminaries, also called the prelims, advanced to round 2 of competition, which were named the playoffs. And I had to mix up the matching a little bit because of the double elimination. So I couldn't go with like match 1, match 2 winners face off because there was no match 7 winners. And so in the playoffs, there were 8 sports competing. So shuffled the order a little bit for the matches, and there were 4 matches for these 8 sports. And the overarching question for the playoffs, the second round of competition, was, would I play this sport moving forward? And so this is the matches and the outcome for each of the matches. In the first match, water polo faced off against boxing. So this is which sport is better. And the sport that won was water polo. In match 2, soccer faced off against bobsled, and bobsled won. In March, match 3, rugby faced off against curling, and curling won. In match 4, triathlon faced off against fencing, and fencing won. So that was the playoffs. 8 sports competed in 4 matches. The winners from the playoffs advanced to the third round of competition called the semifinals. Okay. And so in the semifinals, 4 sports competed in 2 matches. I did shuffle the ordering a little, so it wasn't like match 1 versus match 2 from the previous round. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. And then the overarching evaluation criteria and theme for this one was the physical, mental, social health and wellness of athletes in the sport. And so in the first of 2 matches, bobsled faced off against curling, and curling won. And in the second match, fencing faced off against water polo, and fencing won. And so these 2 finalists, the 2 winners from this third round of competition, the semifinals, advanced to the last round, the 4th round of competition, the championship round, as I called it here, or the finals. And these 2 sports faced off against each other for the title Best Sport. So which sport is better at this round, this championship round? The sport that is deemed the better sport becomes the best sport for this competition. So the championship round, the overarching 2 sports faced off in 1 match, the championship match, to determine which sport is better, and the champion, which is the best sport. And the overarching question/theme for this round was expansion of the sport. So where could this sport go in the future? And so it was a close battle, and fencing faced off against curling, and fencing took it by a little bit. And so that is the final outcome of which sport is better. Fencing is the champion. Fencing is the best sport. So congratulations, fencing! So this is the final recap. So that's the results. So I mentioned a little bit, so like there were some major upsets in this, I think for me personally, and talking through it, and like thinking through this as I was talking through it, and I was just like, I'm gonna have to go with this sport, and it was not at all what I had anticipated going into the match or into the round, and it would be changing and just be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go with this other sport, and it was not at all what I had anticipated. And so I'm still a little shocked. I'm still shocked from the very first match, which actually spurred this entire competition, the swimming or water polo one. I made it as a standalone video, and then this whole competition followed from that because I chose a sport by talking through the sports, the swimming and water polo. I chose water polo, and I would not have chosen that pre-video talking through the sports. And there were actually, I would say, at the very least in the first round, the first one, at least half of those had surprise outcomes. And so that's 4 of 8 matches, at least 50% of them went differently than they would have if I had not talked through them. So there's a little bit of, I ended up filming the vast majority of these videos in one day. I didn't think I could do it, and I hadn't planned on doing it like that, but I ended up doing it like that because I just kept getting stuff. And then I came up with like the themes and the questions, and that was just kind of perfect. And I was like, I got something, and so I let it flow. It'll be slower in posting, but thank you for watching all or just this video and making it this far. And so yeah, so we have a winner for this which sport is better, and I hope no matter how much or how little of these videos you watched, I hope so. I kind of did this in honor of the 2020 Summer Olympics. I did this in honor of the 2020 Summer Olympics that are not being held in 2021 due to COVID-19, and in honor of the 2022 Winter Olympic Games. So in the 2020 Summer Olympic Games. And so I hope, so a lot of these sports are included in the Olympic Games, so it was kind of, I found my goal was hoping to get people kind of energized for the Olympic Games, especially since the Summer Olympic Games are in July and August of 2021, and I haven't checked the date, or I can't remember the date of the Winter Olympic Games, but those are usually in like February. So these winter sports are going to be potentially only like 6 or 7 months apart from each other, so they're kind of like bing bang, like bam bam. And so I thought doing this was kind of like a good I like primer for maybe getting people energized for sports that they both really like watching and are happy to see again, or maybe a sport they didn't know before. Like water polo is one that I'll bring up that I've done it, and a lot of people that I brought it up with, or not a lot, but a fair amount, have not actually even known what the sport is. So I hope if I introduced you to a new sport, if you didn't already know what it is, or exposed you to a new sport. And yeah, and I hope everything was good, and yeah. And what does that mean? I hope everything was good. I hope there was some good takeaway. What is the takeaway? So I make these videos usually for myself, and what is my takeaway for myself that was good was I came into this kind of not depressed about the Olympic Games, but kind of like, what am I gonna watch? Like, what if in a different video that'll be posted a bit later, I kind of mentioned like, I hope I'm traveling Ireland during the Olympic Games, and I think it was just kind of getting downtrodden a bit for the Olympic Games, and in talking through these, I have re-energized myself to wanting to watch the Olympic Games. So that is my good takeaway for myself. Is I'm looking forward to the Olympic Games, and a lot of the promotional material I'd seen hadn't got me excited whatsoever, but actually kind of talking through these sports did. So that was a big surprise and a really good takeaway for me. So I hope there was something good for this for you as well. So have a wonderful, it's Sunday as of filming this. I don't know what day it'll be posted, like what day of the week, but have a wonderful day or night or whatever. And I hope you enjoyed this. So which sport is better? Fencing is better. Fencing is the best sport. Per this, which sport is better?